Good evening, everybody. It's Cutler, and I'm here on the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast, the Let's Talk to Cutler platform. It is another Tuesday. It's April the 6th, 2021, and the spring is moving right along. Listen, thank you all so much for joining me this evening. You know, one of the things that I always want to do, one of the things that I strive for whenever we're on, is to make sure that we feel better about life, better about ourselves at the end of our time together than we did at the beginning of our time together. My goal is to make sure, although this is a spiritual platform, a spiritually based platform, but my goal is to make sure that everybody feels comfortable, everybody enjoys the ride, because we are all on our way to the space in this place that's called better. And as we're reading, my goal is to make sure every second is significant, every moment is meaningful, and every minute has to matter. So I tell you what, we're going to talk about so many things this evening. So make sure that you invite somebody along for the ride. Go ahead and share. If you haven't done so, make sure that you subscribe. But I want to ask you this. Do you ever find yourself getting in your own way? But conversely, do you find yourself not participating in your own successes? Think about those two things, and we'll talk about them as soon as we come back.
Let's talk to Cutler. One more thing, like, subscribe and share. Come on, let's talk to Cutler. Woo!
I so much love reading the messages that you all put in the chat. So as you are coming in the chat, please say hi, say good evening, say something. I'm appreciating. I'll read one of those in just a moment. Listen, we're all passengers. We're on our way to this space, and this place is called better. So each Tuesday and Thursday, I try to show up so that we can make sure that we're picking up passengers. And you all listen, as we're picking up passengers, the goal is for us to have the most crowded car on the highway, because we are trying to become better. And if our car becomes crowded, then guess what? We'll just pick up another car and we'll just start a whole new caravan, because we're on our way to the space, and this place is called better. And we're doing that by reading these quotes from this book called Billboards to Better, 366 Daily Sources of Inspiration and Motivation Along the Highway of Life. It's my 7th book. If you don't have it, you can go on over to Amazon.com and get it, or you can go to my website, www.gbcutler.com, and pick it up. If you haven't done so, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. And after you subscribe, go one step further. Make sure that you click on the notification bell and say you want to be made aware of all notifications whenever I go on live, whenever I've uploaded new content, all that kind of stuff. And do me a favor, as you're joining the conversation this evening, go ahead and do a thumbs up, because it's going to be fun, I hope and I think. But it also says to me that you're encouraged by the conversation. It says even further to YouTube that you like the content that this guy is talking about. So I tell you what I want to do. I really want to shout out the LTTC VIPs for the evening, and I got an extra one I think I might want to throw in. All right, today is April the 6th, and our LTTC VIPs are Linda Martin, who, by the way, she says good evening, that she's on the entrance ramp to the highway, because we're riding along the highway, on the way to success. And then there's Mary Grace 5. Thank you so much. She says good evening, all. And then there's Lynn Gardner. She says, good evening, everyone. So make sure as you're in the chat room that you're chatting with each other. And do me a favor, you all. It's April the 6th. I have a very good friend. Some of you all may know by now that I went to law school. I'm a law school graduate, and I went to law school with a very good friend who happens to be here in the chat. So get ready. I'm going to post your name and put you up. So you all make sure you do me a favor and say happy birthday to a very dear friend of mine. She's in the chat, Sonia Bailey. Let me just do this. She says, good evening, everybody. All right. So please make sure that you say a happy birthday message to her while you're in the chat. I'm so thankful that you all are joining me. Honestly, whatever space you're sharing, I don't take it for granted. I'm humbled that you decided to share this space with me. Thank you all so much for doing that. My mom says, listen, it's just nice to be nice. People don't have to treat you nice. So make sure that you say please and thank you when they do. All right. So let's see what's going on. All right. So and I'm chatting and chuckling at some of the comments, because one person says, I just have to show you this. where we're talking about picking up passengers. You all be careful because I want you all to chat back with me. I want to show you this. One person said, I didn't pick up any passengers, but I picked up pizza and I'm here. And again, you all know, I used to say this all the time. If you're going to get snacks, make sure you bring enough for everybody. And true to what we used to do when we first started, I brought my Southern iced tea with me. All right, I brought my Southern iced tea with me. Not to waste your time, every Tuesday we're going to read our quotes from Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And on Thursdays, we're going to read our quotes from Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. On Thursdays, Cutler, do you not know the days of the week? On Thursdays, we're going to read the quotes from Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now, the quote for Saturday, do what you want to do with it all day, your way. If you want to use it to start a conversation, if you want to use it as part of your meditation, then make sure you go ahead and do that. All right. So then I need to get started with this quote. And I think I'm going to start doing something else a little differently. I might, you all just post the quote on the screen somehow when we all get started. All right. No drinking. I'm with you, Mika. Mika says, listen, no drinking and driving, Cutler. It's not Spike. I promise you, it's not Spike. But again, thank you all for joining. I'm always delighted. I'm in a good mood today. I'm in an extra good mood. You all see I'm trying to make a few changes around here, trying to do some things for the spring. All right. The quote for April 4th, our quote for April 4th says, sometimes the way is made for us, but sometimes the way is made by us. Sometimes the way is made for us, and sometimes the way is made by us. You'll hang on to your seats for just a moment, because I know it has been said that sometimes we get in our own way. So that's why when we started our conversation this evening, I want to know if you sometimes get in your own way, or if you forget to participate in your own success and your own achievement. And so again, I know it has been said that we sometimes get in our own way, but sometimes you have to allow yourself to be an instrument in your own success. In your own success, in your own accomplishments, in your own achievements. You have to become an instrument in what leads to your success, your achievement, and your accomplishments. And this quote is just a reminder that we don't need to wait for a handout, because many times what we need is really within us. And I'm all about empowerment. I hope and I think that you all know that by now, that many times what we need is really, it's within us. We are filled with gifts and talents and ingenuity and creativity and innovation. So while we're looking for sources, don't forget to look at yourself. Look at yourself as a source of your own help. Sometimes we are afraid to try new things. We are afraid to venture into new territories. But one of the things that I've learned is that if I mess up, please hear me clearly, if I mess up and I was the only one who tried, nobody knows that I messed up except me. Nobody knows it. So whatever the end result is, it looks like it was intentional. It looks like it was deliberate. So make very sure that you always look at yourself as one of the sources for your own successes. Sometimes we doubt ourselves, we question ourselves, but this quote is a reminder to allow ourselves to at least try. And we've heard it that nothing beats a failure but a try. This is a reminder to allow ourselves to think outside of the box and to allow ourselves to really be a participant in our success. Why do I say that? Because many times, and you all know this, many times we are so busy helping other people. But this quote is an admonition, you all, to stop and to breathe and to help yourself. Learn how to stop, breathe, and help yourself. I've watched people. Who've asked for help, and then when help comes, they step aside and they let the other person who came do all the work. By definition, we know that's not quite help, right? If you're going to ask somebody to come and help you, you don't leave, because that's not helping. If you want me to help you, that means you want me to lend assistance to something that you are already doing. You want me to lend assistance to something that you are already doing. I'm going to tell you, I have a friend who once asked me to help her move. And when I got there, she got in the car and she left. She drove away. So, I said, you can move 15 more times. And I'm never going to come over here to help you move again. You don't do that. When you ask for help, make sure that you ask for help. Help means that you want somebody to lend assistance to something that you're already doing. It's sort of like when you're on an airplane and you hear the announcement that says, in the event that the cabin loses pressure, oxygen mask will fall. Please make sure that you administer oxygen to yourself first before you help anybody else. This is a reminder that you are no good to anybody else until you are first some good to yourself. Maybe I need to say that again. You are no good to anybody else until you are first good to yourself. So as we're sharing and talking about this quote, you all don't forget, don't get so busy helping other people and involved helping them until you forget to take care of yourself, until you forget to advance your own agenda, until you forget to be a participant in your own deliverance, in your own success, in your own achievements. Learn how to love yourself, learn how to celebrate yourself and treat yourself well. I find it interesting that one of our greatest commandments is to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. And I don't know about you all, but in my life, I've looked at some people and I've looked at how they treat themselves. And then I think about the commandment that says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And I looked at how they treated themselves. And I thought, if that's how you're going to treat yourself, if that's how you're going to love yourself, then you ain't got to bother to love me. And I know I used some colloquialism there, but I really meant it. If that's how you treat yourself, I don't want you to love me. So make sure that some of your most empowering moments, some of your greatest moments are moments when you say, I am going to get involved in being the answer to some of my own problems. I'm going to get involved in being the solution to some of the issues that I encounter. So again, sometimes the way is made for us, but sometimes the way is made by us. It is so awesome to see you all chatting with me this evening. What do you all think about that? Do you forget to take care of yourself? Do you forget to love yourself? Do you forget to treat yourself well? I want to hear from you. I want to know what you all are thinking and how you feel about that. I hope that quote is a moment where we can say, wow, I need to go back and I need to stop and breathe, because that was a moment of empowerment that says, I'm important, I'm gifted, I'm talented, and I'm valuable. And I'm all of that, not just to other people, but to me. All right. Again, we're reading from this book right here, Billboards to Better, 366 Daily Sources of Motivation and Inspiration Along the Highway of Life. I want to go on to the quote for April 5th. Again, and in this safe space, you can be honest, because I'm reading. Yes, sometimes we do forget to be good to ourselves. We got to be good to ourselves. And some of you are putting it in the chat, and it is true. I've seen people help take care of others and ignore themselves. It's almost like the physician who can help other people and forgets to heal himself. It's like the caregiver who's so busy giving care until he or she forgets to give himself the care that they need. All right? Take care of yourself. Be good to yourself. Don't forget that. Even if you got to write it on a Post-it and put it in the mirror, on the refrigerator, on the medicine cabinet, wherever you have to, this week, make a conscious effort. Be deliberate and say, I've got to be good to myself. I'm going to participate in my own success. All right, let's go into the quote for April the 5th. April the 5th. It's good to see so many of you all. It's good to see you, Auntie. It's good to see you this evening as well. April the 5th says, even in my brokenness, God deserves my best. Don't slack up on God just because life turns up the fire. Don't slack up just because life turns up the fire. Yeah, I love that some of y'all saying yes. Don't cheat yourself, but treat yourself. I love that. With respect to this particular quote, even in my brokenness, God deserves my best. Don't slack up on God just because life turns up the fire. When I look at history, It seems to me that some of our greatest poetry, y'all know I love poetry, some of our greatest poetry, some of the greatest music that I've ever heard, those lyrics and those poems, they were born out of moments of adversity, out of moments, out of difficult moments, out of challenging times and trying moments. And some of the most creative fashions that you ever want to see, they were really born out of practical needs and necessities of life. Some of the greatest inventions that we still enjoy today, they came out of moments of difficult times. Moments of difficult times. So this quote is an admonition. It is a reminder. It is to encourage us that even in your lowest moments, you are a masterpiece. Even in your lowest moments. I know there are times when we feel like, the rust is on us and the dust is covering us, but guess what? Still beneath the surface of that rust, beneath the surface of that dust, you are still a masterpiece. And you still are an arsenal of weapons. You still are a container of wondrous gifts and talents. So don't forget to use them. Whatever your gifts and talents may be, do not forget to use them. I'll tell you, you all have been on this journey. So again, thank you. When my father died, I wrote some of my most heartfelt writings in the midst of the pandemic. Look at the various things that we've done. One of the things that I did during the pandemic, I wrote this. One of the things that I hope will become, one of my greatest writings. And if the truth be told, you all, I love sharing these transparent moments, and I love the fact that we can have this safe space of exchange and dialogue. And I would tell you all this: if the truth be told, most of my poetry was not written during peaks and mountaintop experiences, but they were written when I was in the valley, when I didn't see the light, when I felt helpless and when I felt hopeless. So what I find interesting is that even during those moments that seem low, when we seem broken, you can still give your best in a broken moment. When I tell you that just resonated with me, you can still give your best, even in a broken moment. And your best in a broken moment may not look the same as it does in a non or unbroken moment, but it is still your best. And your best is subjective. Don't let anybody dictate to you what is your best. They don't get to do that. Not in here, they don't. You decide what is your best. So for me, this particular quote, it connects to some degree with the previous one, because in my low moments, I've learned I didn't always know. I got to be honest. I didn't always know how to help myself out of those moments. I didn't know how to be one of the sources of my own deliverance in those moments. But one of the things that I have learned in my low moments, I've learned how to help get myself out. Because nobody, when you're in your low moments, let me say this to you all. When you're in your low moments, make sure you keep the shovel in your hand. Keep the shovel in your hand, because no one is going to dig as hard as you do. All right? All right. So listen, you can still give your best even when you're broken. I'm going to tell you this, you all. In recent years, I take pride in always doing my best. And for me, that's just not a matter of empty words. Real story. When I broke my foot and ultimately had to have my ankle reconstructed, I was working 2 jobs. I was active in my church. And somewhere within me, before I realized that I would take a break, I had to have some assurance that I hadn't been defeated. Call it the male ego, call it something. But honestly, I had to have this notion that this situation has not defeated me. So I needed to know that I had given it my all. I needed to know that I had given it my best. So even in the midst of adversity, and some of my friends know this to be true, I rode on a scooter, taught my classes, walked in the church on crutches, did what I needed to do, went to my other job in a cast, because I decided I'm not going to be defeated. And before I take a break, I just need to know that I've got to give it my best. Now, in hindsight, would I do the same thing over? I'm not so sure, but I'm just sharing in that moment what really worked for me. What really worked for me. All right. So I know that even though life had you all, please catch this. I knew that even though life had turned up the fire, that I could call on God and he would come and extinguish the flames. And check this out. Check this out. Even if he didn't extinguish the flames, I trusted that what he would do, that he would engulf me in this flame retardant, non-flammable thing that's called grace. Even if he didn't put the fires out, he would somehow engulf me in this fire retardant, non-flammable thing that is called grace, and not allow me to be consumed by the thing that I was in. So my brokenness, I'm constrained to still give it my best. And I want you all to know this. Again, best is subjective. Don't let anybody dictate for you what's best. Because what's best for you may not look like what's best for me. And it would change from situation to situation. So don't let people pull that one over on you. All right. Even in your brokenness, still do your best. That's what character is about. That's what integrity is about. It says, I'm giving it my best, given the situation, given the conditions, given the hand I've been dealt. I'm going to give it my best. All right. We're reading from Billboards to Better, 366 daily sources of motivation and inspiration along the highway of life. I want to say thank you again for sharing the space with me, whatever space it is, your living room, your bedroom, your car, your front porch, your dining room, your kitchen. Thank you for sharing the space. Again, if you haven't done so, please do a thumbs up on the conversation. Do a thumbs up on the conversation. And if you haven't, if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I want to go to this next quote for April 6th. And the quote says, you don't always have to know the purpose in order to follow the plan. You don't always have to know the purpose in order to follow the plan. In life, we're going to play many roles. Sometimes you'll be a leader. Sometimes you will be the follower. Sometimes you're going to sit on the side as a cheerleader. Sometimes you're going to take a break and really do nothing. But whatever your role is in the moment, learn how to play that role and be the best in that position that you can. Because that is watching the plan unfold. It's watching the plan unfold. And you may not know the purpose, but you can easily get with the plan. A lot of times we don't know the purpose until we're on the other side of it. We don't know purpose until we've achieved it. We don't know purpose until we've accomplished it. So I want to be very clear about that. Because a lot of times we're looking for purpose. What is my purpose in life? What is my goal in life? What is my life about? What is going on? Why am I here? And so many times we're looking for that before we go through it. But learn to breathe, you all. Learn to sit back and say, you know what? I'll discover purpose when it is intended for me to discover purpose. Right now, the only thing I'm doing is getting with the plan. And I'm going along with the plan. I remember, I could tell so many stories, you all. I remember, because you all know that I grew up in the South, and we had a clothesline. And there was sometimes when my mother, my grandmother, my great aunts, and they would hang clothes. They would turn the clothes inside out and hang them on the clothesline. And they would tell us to do it. Flip the clothes inside out and hang them on the clothesline. It made no sense, and it may not be making sense to you all right now. First of all, you'll be thinking a clothesline, right? But it didn't make sense. But we learned to get with the plan, only to discover that sometimes there were birds that would come and fly and they would poop. And if they did, you didn't want it on the outside of the clothes that you had just laundered, that you had just washed. Sometimes the pollen was so bad until you didn't want the pollen to settle on clothes. This is just some of the byproducts of living in the South, living in the rural South in the country. But again, it's about just getting with the plan. When you wake up in the morning, just intentionally say, I'm going to do the best. Whatever comes my way, I'm going to do it. I may not know what today's purpose is, but you all, I've said it before, purpose is what happens while you're on your way to destiny. Purpose happens every single day, every single moment, every single hour is filled with purpose. And again, do you not understand that? Do you not see that we don't always know? We don't always know purpose. Sometimes until we are on the other side of it. So this is a reminder that says we don't always have to know the purpose, just follow the plan. It's almost like, and we know the story of Noah who built the ark. Noah built the ark. And as the Bible story goes, God told Noah to build the ark. And after he told him to build the ark, then he told him about the flood. You don't always know purpose. You don't always know purpose. Get with the plan. Maybe some mornings you get up and you go about life. And at the end of the day, when you look back, that is when you say, I get it. I get it. Don't get frustrated. Follow the plan. Just follow the plan. And sometimes I found so much peace in following the plan. I found so much resolve in following the plan. And I'm telling you all, follow the plan. I want to say thank you for sharing this time and this space with me. And what I want to do, I want to close by sharing this poem. Speaking of, the plan. I want to read from Who We Once Were. And there's this poem that's titled, When the Time is Right. It says, when the time is right, you know it. You feel it. You hear that little voice inside that echoes like 1,000 rivers telling you, yes. When the time is right, you sense it. You smell it. You feel an inner strength that comes from a place where not even your ancestry can take you. When the time is right, you believe it. You love it, you cling to it, stand upon it, and hold fast to it, knowing that there is an undeniable hour that has come to change the essence of your life. There is an undeniable hour, minute, moment, second that has come to change the essence of your life. When the time is right, you live it, you trust it, you seize it, and you know that your steps have been ordered by a source that is higher, far higher than the pinnacle of your greatest faith. When the time is right, you obey it, you accept it. Do not question it, do not doubt it, and do not challenge it. But walk, talk, breathe, move, hope, and do all that you know is right to do. For that, my friend, is when the time is right for you. I want to say thank you for joining me on this platform for these 1,800 seconds of what I call vlogging and sharing this space with you. Again, I want to wish a very happy birthday to my dear friend Sonia Bailey and all of you, my fellow passengers. Thank you for sharing this time and this space with me. There would be no broadcast, there would be no program were it not for you. So thank you. Let's keep on doing what we do, you all. Let's keep building community. Let's keep building community. Let's keep maintaining connectivity. Let's keep our heads up, keep our hopes up, because we're coming out of this and we're coming out with peace in our mind and clarity in our thoughts. And not only that, you all, but stay safe and stay sane. Until Thursday at 8 o'clock, I'll be right here in the same space. I want to say thank you all so much. Make sure you say hi to our fellow passengers as we end tonight's broadcast. Like, share, comment, and subscribe from my heart to yours. Please know that there's much love. Good night, all.